Have you ever found yourselves puzzled by some of the decisions women make? Do you wonder why emotions seem to guide their choices, while you tend to lean towards logical thinking? Well, in this video, we will uncover some harsh truths about women that men often learn later in life. If you're new here, don't forget to click the like and subscribe buttons to show your support. #1. Women tend to make decisions based on their emotions. One fascinating aspect many men come to realize about women, often as they mature in life, is that women tend to make decisions based on their emotions, while guys lean more towards logical thinking. This difference in decision-making can sometimes lead to confusion and misunderstandings between the genders, but it's also what makes relationships so intriguing. Men, being critical thinkers, might find themselves scratching their heads when women make choices that seem irrational or emotionally driven. To women, their decisions make perfect sense because they are guided by their emotions. It's like they have this emotional compass that points them in the direction their heart desires. But for men who approach decisions more logically, it can be quite puzzling and even frustrating. For example, imagine a woman staying with a man who has hurt her. From a logical standpoint, it might not make any sense at all. Why would she choose to be with someone who's caused her pain? But emotionally, she might be deeply attached and unwilling to let go. It's that emotional connection that can cloud her judgment, making her decisions seem incomprehensible to men. Now hold on, guys. Before we go on thinking women are just a bunch of emotional beings, let's get one thing straight. Men can be emotional too. It's just that there are instances where women's decisions are more heavily influenced by their emotions, and it might not always align with the rational choices men are used to making. One area where this emotional decision-making comes into play is with red flags in relationships. Both men and women can overlook warning signs in a relationship, but women can be more prone to staying in unhealthy situations because their emotions blind them to the potential harm. They might be so head over heels infatuated with the person that they fail to recognize the glaring red flags waving right in front of them. That emotional attachment becomes like a pair of rose-tinted glasses, hindering their ability to see the situation logically and objectively. But here's the thing, this emotional decision-making is not a negative trait at all. It's just a characteristic that differs between genders. And you know what? That's what makes relationships so complex and intriguing. We have different ways of processing and making choices, and that diversity is what keeps things interesting. #2. Women will take advantage of weak men. It's true that some women may take advantage of men they perceive as weak or overly accommodating. A 2019 Foodie Call study suggested that about 1 in 3 women have been on a date just for a free meal. Similarly, some women may accept favors, emotional support, or attention from men without any intention of pursuing a deeper relationship. While this behavior is wrong and shouldn't happen, it's essential to recognize that it can occur in some cases. Some men might find themselves in the friend zone or feel strung along by women they are interested in. This situation often arises when men adopt a mindset that being overly nice and accommodating will eventually lead to a romantic relationship. This misconception can be perpetuated by media and societal norms, leading men to believe that if they continue being kind and supportive, eventually the woman will realize they are the right choice for a relationship. However, in reality, this approach often doesn't work, and men can end up hurt and disappointed when the woman finds someone else to be in a relationship with. To avoid being taken advantage of or getting hurt, it's essential for men, and anyone for that matter, to prioritize their own self-worth and well-being. It's crucial to understand that a healthy relationship should be built on mutual respect and genuine feelings. Putting oneself first and valuing one's worth can help avoid getting caught in situations where someone might exploit their kindness. #3. Girls will test you endlessly. Here's something important to know about women. Some of them have this habit of testing you endlessly. Now, not all women do it, but it's a pretty common pattern for some. You might find it a bit baffling, but let me break it down for you. So when women engage in these tests, they're basically pushing your boundaries to see how you'll react and respond. It's like a little experiment to check your emotional stability, commitment, and genuine interest in them. They want to know if you're the real deal, someone who's going to stick around no matter what. Now, these tests can come in all shapes and sizes. It could be starting a tiny argument out of nowhere or throwing out some provocative statements. The whole point is to see if they can get an emotional reaction from you. Will you stay strong, or will you crumble under the pressure? It's like a way for them to make sure you still care and are invested in the relationship. Now, I know it might not sound like the healthiest trait, but bear with me, it usually comes from some underlying insecurities. Some women fear they might not be worthy of love or worry that their partner could lose interest over time. So these tests are like a way of seeking reassurance, crazy as it may seem. And here's the kicker, guys. These tests don't just stop after the early dating stages. Oh no, they can go on even in long-term relationships. Yep, even after you've been together for years, a woman might throw in a test just to check if you're still devoted. Now, understanding this behavior is key for you guys in relationships. When you're aware of these potential tests, you can handle them with more empathy and patience. Instead of getting all defensive or upset, try to respond with understanding. It'll help diffuse unnecessary conflicts and strengthen the bond between you and your partner. And remember, these tests aren't meant to be malicious. They're driven by a whole mix of emotions. #4. Women need boundaries. You know, in any relationship, setting boundaries is absolutely crucial. It's not about being some controlling dictator, but it's more like building a solid foundation for understanding each other's limits and creating a safe space. Trust me, things can quickly get messy without these boundaries in place. So here's the thing. Some guys might shy away from setting boundaries because they're afraid they'll lose their girl or upset her. But let me tell you, that can actually lead to bigger problems down the road. Picture this. You're supposed to be the guy who takes care of her, keeps her secure, and yet she's doing whatever she wants without any boundaries set. It's like a respect vanishing act, and that's never a good sign. When there are no clear boundaries, insecurity starts knocking on the door, and that's when you find yourself in an anxious mess. But hey, it's not rocket science. Boundaries are like the guiding stars of a relationship. They give you that sense of reassurance, making you both feel secure and respected. You don't want her constantly pushing your limits or walking all over you, do you? Of course not. That's why having boundaries is vital. You don't need to go overboard, though. Setting reasonable expectations is the name of the game. For example, you might want to make it clear that you're not cool with her texting her ex or hitting the clubs without you. And guess what? That's totally okay. I get it. Sometimes society sends mixed signals, making you wonder if boundaries are somehow a bad thing. But let me tell you, they're not. In fact, they show self-respect and that you know what you want. Sure, there are some limits you don't want to cross yourself, but having those clear expectations helps both of you navigate the relationship in a healthier way. Remember, you're not being controlling. You're being confident in what you want from the relationship, and that, my friend, is an attractive quality. Plus, if your partner doesn't respect your boundaries, well, that's a red flag right there. You deserve someone who values your feelings and respects your needs. We've come to the end of this video, and if you enjoyed it, do well to click on the like and subscribe buttons. Don't forget to check other videos on our playlist. We've got some amazing contents for you. See you in our next video.